Hi there, this is English, and I'm Juan.
Business plan. So, as usual, we'll continue with new words for you. So, den. Look at the photo. Den is the home of particular types of wild animals. Contestant. Someone who competes in a contest. Invest. Invest to put money or effort, time, etc. into something to make a profit or get advantage. Apply. To officially ask for something such as a job or place on a course or a loan, usually by completing a special form or writing letter. Pitch. A speech or act that attempts to persuade someone to buy or do something. Stony-faced, showing no emotion or impassive. Offer, to ask someone if they would like to have something or if they would like you to do something for them. Regret, a feeling of sadness about something sad or wrong, about the mistake that you have made, and a wish that it could have been different and better. Savvy means practical knowledge and ability. So, and now we'll continue with the part in the dragon's den. Right now, I want you to read the article once and answer the question, what is it about? Please, 1 minute reading. So, checking it, it's about a TV program. And this time again, you should read the article about the TV program Dragon's Den and answer the questions. Number 1, who are the dragons? 2, where do the contestants meet them? 3, how does the program work? 4, is there a similar TV program in your country? Let's go. Please, you have 1 minute. So, number 1, they are successful people. 2, in the intimidating room. 3, how does the program work? The dragons invest in ideas. 4, and yes, we have similar 1. Now look at the photo of two dragons den contestants and their product. Do you think they were successful? Well, and now I want you to listen to part 1 of an interview with Joe about his experience. Mark the sentence T or F. Please go.
Part 1.
Whose idea was it to go on the programme?
It was my idea. I applied without telling my business partner Jake. Of course, I never really expected to get on it. But then they phoned me from the BBC and said, "You're on the programme." So that's when I told him.
Did you spend a long time preparing your pitch?
Yes. We worked really hard and we practiced a lot so that we knew the pitch word for word. The evening before the show, we actually went for a run up in Manchester where it's filmed, and we went running together just repeating the pitch over and over again.
How did you feel when you arrived at the den?
Well, we were told to get to the set at about 11 o'clock the night before because you had to prepare everything in advance, like any furniture you need, things like that. It was freezing cold and we were exhausted. We didn't get back to our hotel until the middle of the night, and a car came to pick us up a few hours later at 5:30 in the morning.
What time did you actually do your pitch?
11:30. So we were lucky because we were the first in that particular programme.
Why lucky?
Because we didn't have to wait too long. The other contestants spent ages just waiting around. Some of them, the ones who were on last, had to wait 12 hours.
Did you meet the dragons before you went in to do the pitch?
No, you're not allowed to. Like, if you go to the toilet before you go on, someone has to escort you in case you meet a dragon. So the first time you see them is when you go into the den.
So, checking them all together. So number 1, Joe and Jake applied to be on Dragon's Den together. Now, false. 2, they prepared their pitch very quickly. False. 3, the show was filmed in Manchester. False. 4, they didn't do any preparation the night before. True. 5, they only slept for a few hours the night before the program. True. Number 6, they were the third contestants on that program. False. 7, other contestants waited for up to 12 hours for their turn. That's true. They met one of the dragons while they were waiting to go on. False. Fascinating now. And now we should listen to part 2. What does Joe say about smiling at Deborah Maiden, Jake's first words, and I'm out, Peter's appearance, Jessup's, and the job offer? Let's listen and go.
8.10. Part 2.
What were the dragons like?
Well, they're obviously told by the producers to be really unfriendly and aggressive. So I remember thinking, when the doors opened and we walked in, what I wanted to do was just to smile at one of them. That was my way of making myself relaxed. And I looked at Deborah Meaden, because she was in the middle, and I smiled at her. But she just, stared at me, stony-faced, to make me feel nervous. And it worked.
Did you think you did a good presentation?
Yeah, we did. But Jake, he usually never gets anything wrong. He forgot his first words, and he just never does that. So we both thought when he got the introduction wrong that it was going to go badly, but it didn't.
So what happened after you'd done your pitch?
Yeah, well, 4 of the dragons said, "I'm out." They said they weren't interested. So we were feeling pretty depressed, pretty negative.
And then?
The last dragon was Peter, and he's quite scary. He's incredibly tall, over 2 meters. And at first, he really criticised us. But then he told us he had a big chain of camera shops called Jessup's, and they were starting online printing and photo framing as part of their business. And then he said, "I've got 15 guys in Hong Kong trying to do what you guys are doing, but you guys are doing it better. I'm going to offer you both a job."
Were you very surprised?
Totally, because it had never happened on Dragon's Den before. In 10 years, they'd never offered someone a job.
So he offered you jobs just like that?
Well, his offer was that he wanted to have our business and for us to work with him at Jessup's.
With a good salary?
Very.
So what did you do?
So, number 1, she was stony-faced. 2, he forgot his words. 3, 4 of them said, "I'm out." 4, Peter's appearance. He was scary and tall. 5. Jessups. It's Peter's business. And number 6, the job offer. Peter offered them a job. Good. And now please listen to the end of the interview. What did Joe and Jake decide to do and why? 2. What did they think it was the right Did they think it was the right decision?
8.11. Part 3.
It was very stressful because we knew we had to make a decision immediately. So Jake said, yes, let's take the jobs. But I said, you don't want to work for Jessups. And he stayed silent. And I said, I don't want to work for Jessups. I mean, neither of us were in a position where we could have dropped everything and gone and worked for Jessups full time. It was ridiculous.
So you said no.
That's right.
Have you ever regretted saying no?
No, not for a second. It was still early days for us then, so we were still kind of having fun and enjoying running our own business. And things worked out well for us. Frame Again was successful, and eventually we sold the business this year.
But not to one of the dragons.
No, but that would have been perfect.
So, what did Joe and Jake decide to do and why? They said no because they didn't want to work for Jessups. 2. Did they think it was the right decision? Yes, they thought it was the right decision. Good. Now please listen to Joe and Jake. They are giving their Dragon's Den pitch. And please number the questions in the order you hear. Please go.
Good morning. I'm Joe and this is Jake. Oh, no, sorry. I'm Jake and this is Joe. And we're here to tell you about our new product, Frame Again.
Frame Again is an online service for printing and framing your photos. At the moment, it's easy to take a photo, but it's difficult to print and frame it attractively. With Frame Again, it couldn't be simpler. First, you upload your photo to the Frame Again website straight from your phone, tablet or computer. Then, you choose the colours of your frame. Then we print, frame and deliver your photo to you the very next day. It's quick and it's easy. The product's great and the service is great.
Frame Again is for today's smartphone photographers and Instagram users. That's why we designed a modern frame which is square, perfect for framing Instagram photos. We think it will be very popular because the frames look great in any home or office.
One photo, printed, framed and delivered to your door, will cost £12.99.
Our slogan is printed, framed and delivered in 24 hours.
So let's check them. Number 1. Who are you? What's the name of your product? Which is C. 2. B. What's the product? Give a detailed description. 3. Who is the product for? And 4. How much will it cost? And 5. Do you have an advertising slogan for the product? 5. Brilliant. Right now we're going to watch a video about business plan. Please watch the video and answer the question. How many factors are there? And do you agree with them?
You might think that the only thing standing between a would-be entrepreneur and spectacular success is a glossy business plan with 5-color charts, detailed spreadsheets, and a decade of month-by-month financial projections. But experienced investors know that these are mostly based on wishful thinking, not reality. What do they really want to see? Harvard Business School professor William Salmon argues there are 4 factors critical to the success of every new venture and every great business plan. First, introduce the people starting and running the venture, as well as outside parties such as its lawyers, accountants and suppliers. Most savvy investors will focus their attention on people because they believe that execution skills are what matters most. You need to prove you have the skills, experience and network necessary for success. Next, the opportunity is a profile of the business itself, what you're going to sell, to whom, for how much and so on. Be sure to talk about the competition. If your business plan describes an unbeatable market position, you'll sound naive. A good business plan openly discusses strengths and vulnerabilities. Third is context. Here you need to show not only your understanding of the big picture, the regulatory environment, interest rates and so on, but how you will respond when these external factors inevitably change. Finally, talk about risk and reward. What happens if one of the founders leaves? What happens if demand skyrockets? Assess everything that can go wrong and right and explain how your team will actually respond. But wait, you might be wondering, what about the numbers? Yes, business plans should include some numbers, but those numbers should appear mainly in the form of a business model that shows your team has thought through key components of the venture's success or failure. When will the business begin to make a profit? How will investors eventually get money when the business succeeds? A business plan that asks and answers the right questions is a powerful tool. A better deal and a better shot at success awaits entrepreneurs who use it.
As you see, as you watch the video, there are all in all 4 factors. And do you agree with the ideas? Well, it depends on you. Personally, I would say yes, I totally agree with the idea. And next time, you should do the task on the right side. You see here, please do the task.
And now, you should watch the video again and answer the questions. You can see the questions right here. Please, I will give you 20 seconds to read the questions and you will watch the video again. So please watch the video now.
You might think that the only thing standing between a would-be entrepreneur and spectacular success is a glossy business plan with 5-color charts, detailed spreadsheets, and a decade of month-by-month financial projections. But experienced investors know that these are mostly based on wishful thinking, not reality. What do they really want to see? Harvard Business School professor William Salmon argues there are 4 factors critical to the success of every new venture and every great business plan. First, introduce the people starting and running the venture, as well as outside parties such as its lawyers, accountants, and suppliers. Most savvy investors will focus their attention on people because they believe that execution skills are what matters most. You need to prove you have the skills, experience, and network necessary for success. Next, the opportunity is a profile of the business itself, what you're going to sell, to whom, for how much, and so on. Be sure to talk about the competition. If your business plan describes an unbeatable market position, you'll sound naive. A good business plan openly discusses strengths and vulnerabilities. Third is context. Here you need to show not only your understanding of the big picture, the regulatory environment, interest rates, and so on, but how you will respond when these external factors inevitably change. Finally, talk about risk and reward. What happens if one of the founders leaves? What happens if demand skyrockets? Assess everything that can go wrong and right and explain how your team will actually respond. But wait, you might be wondering, what about the numbers? Yes, business plans should include some numbers, but those numbers should appear mainly in the form of a business model that shows your team has thought through key components of the venture's success or failure. When will the business begin to make a profit? How will investors eventually get money when the business succeeds? A business plan that asks and answers the right questions is a powerful tool. A better deal and a better shot at success awaits entrepreneurs who use it.
Okay, so number 1, what's the first step? Introducing the people who start and run the business. 2, why should you mention people in the business? Because execution skills are what matters most. 3, what's profile in business? Detail about the business. What to sell, to whom, how much. 4, what does the speaker mention about competition? A good business discusses its strengths. 5, what do you need to show in context? How you will react to inevitable changes. 6, what's final one? Risk and reward. Brilliant. Now this is the end of part.
Well, let's call it a day. I'll catch you next time.